Hello everyone, I am Suvarna, working as an assistant professor of English at Government Degree College, Jammikunta. I welcome all of you to today's class. Our today's topic is prefix and suffix. So let's first see what's a prefix and what is a suffix. So basically prefix or suffix, they are just a set of a group of letters which can be added at the beginning or end of a word. So we will have a word which is called as a group root word, and prefix and suffix, they are just set of letters, a group of letters, and prefix is added at the beginning of the root word, and suffix is the group of letters which is added at the end of the root word. They are not words on their own and cannot stand on their own in a sentence. So these prefix or suffix, either prefix or suffix, it's not a word on its own. So it is just a set of letters, a group of letters. So it cannot stand as a word individually. So it cannot stand individually in a sentence. So they are just a set of letters, a group of letters. So when if they have to be, if they are printed on their own, they have a hyphen before or after them. So if they have to be written on their own, you have to mark hyphen before or after them. So basically prefix or suffix, they are just set of group of letters which are added at the beginning. Prefix is added at the beginning of the root word and suffix is added at the end. So prefixes are added to the beginning of an existing word in order to create a new word with a different meaning. Then why do we need to add prefix? So in order to create a new word, so addition of a prefix to a word, it makes a new word out of the old word, out of the root word, and the new word with a different meaning also. For example, you can see here, you can see few words. You can see a root word happy here, and with the addition of prefix un, with the addition of prefix un, the word becomes a new word unhappy, and definitely the meaning of happy is different from unhappy, right? So here addition of a prefix creates a new word with a new meaning. It basically creates a new word with new meaning out of a root word. So here you can see few other root words here, cultural, and with the addition of the prefix multi here, you can get the word multicultural. And similarly, work, overwork, space, cyberspace. So hence prefix, this a group of letters which is added at the beginning of the root word, which creates a different word, a new word with a different meaning. And the same with suffix is also, yes, suffix are also added to the end of an existing word. So it creates, again, suffix also creates a new word by being added at the end of a root word. So you can see here, if you take the word child, if we add the suffix ish, you can get a new word child, right? Yes. So with the addition of a few letters at the end of the root word, you will get a new word which has a different meaning. So this is the purpose. Either prefix or suffix, the addition of prefix or suffix, it creates a new word with different meaning. However, prefixes and suffixes both are part of affixes. The use of these two affixes change the meaning of the base word or the root word. So as we just discussed, prefix and suffix both serve the purpose of creating a new word with different meaning. You can see an example here. If you look at the word, if you take the word untidiness, it's a word, right? With both suffix and prefix are added. So in this word, you can see the prefix un and you can see the suffix also in es. And it refers to a different meaning than its root word. What's the root word here? What's the root word? If you take untidy or tidiness or untidiness, what's the root word there? You can take the word tidy as a root word, right? Which means neat and clean. And when you add the prefix un to that word, it becomes a new word untidy is created, right? A new word untidy is created, which means disorderly, and the form of this untidy is adjective, right? So, and if you add a suffix to this untidy, take this word untidy and you add a suffix, it becomes untidiness, which the meaning of which is disorderliness, and it is the form of untidiness is noun, right? So you can see here addition of suffix. So here addition of suffix, it has changed the form to adjective, whereas addition of suffix here prefix changes the word form to adjective, and addition of suffix changes that adjective to a noun. So the addition of a suffix often changes a word form from one class to another. In the same way, in the previous example also, we have seen how untidy and the addition of suffix "nes" has changed that adjective to a noun, right? So the addition of a suffix often changes a word from one word class to another. You have a few more examples here. You can take, for example, if you take the verb like, I hope you can see the movement of the cursor. So if you take the verb like, it becomes, when you add the suffix able, then what's the word we will get? We will get the new one likable, right? Likable. And what's the form? It is an adjective. So from the verb like, the addition of able created a new one likable, the form of which is an adjective. In the same way here, if you take the root word idle, and if you add the suffix, this is a noun, right? So idle is a noun, right? And if you add a suffix ize, then what's the word you will see here? Idolize, and the form is verb. So here addition of the suffix "-e" has changed to the form from noun to a verb. In a similar way, childish. If you take the noun child and when you add the suffix "ish", then obviously this noun becomes an adjective, childish, right? So here, addition of a suffix, it often changes the form of word. Here you can see how the verb got changed into an adjective, and how the noun here got changed into a verb, and here a noun to an adjective. So in most of the cases, the addition of suffix obviously changes the word form. Prefix is only one type, but there are two types of suffix. So generally prefix is only one type, but suffix is of two types. What are those two types? Inflectional suffix and derivational suffix. So you have two types of suffixes. Suffix here, one is inflectional suffix and the other one is derivational suffix. So what's an inflectional suffix then? An inflectional suffix means a suffix which does not change the meaning of the original word, or just changing the present tense into past tense. So it doesn't completely change the meaning. Obviously uh, there will be a little changing, but only with respect to the tense here, right? So here, if you see walked, and when you add this ed, it becomes walked, right? But the overall meaning, the basic meaning is not changed here. Such suffixes are called as inflectional suffix. Okay, and then what is a derivational suffix? A derivational suffix means a suffix means the new word, and then it creates a new word with a complete different meaning, new meaning. So if you take this verb teach, okay, right? So it's a teach, and when you add the suffix er, then what's the word you will get? Teacher, and there's complete difference in the meaning, right? So here this verb is also becoming a noun here, and the meaning is also being changed. So such suffix is called as a derivational suffix. Yes. So here when you add these are few things to know about prefix. So different prefixes in English can have similar meanings, such as un, in, non. So all these prefixes, un, prefix un and in and non. They all these three, they uh, give the meaning of not or opposite to. So when you add the prefix un or in or non to a word, you will get a certainly opposite word of it most of the times, or the word which gives a sense of not, which is the meaning of not, right? So un, in, and non. So these three prefixes, they have similar meaning, and what is that meaning? Mean opposite or not. And the prefixes mis, ir, they mean wrong, wrong here, incorrectly. So when addition of the prefix mis or ir, it brings to a meaning, it brings a sort of meaning which is which shows wrong or wrongly or incorrectly. So sometimes you can see when you add, you can get double words also, right? For example, when you add the prefix im to words that begin with the letter m, so you get obviously it's right. For example, measurable or mortal. So when you add im, what happens? You will get a double letter: immeasurable, immortal. Okay, and that's also true when you add un to words that begin with the letter N, as in unnoticeable. The same is true for yes. So, for example, here you take noticeable, and when you add the prefix un, you will get a double letter here. And when adding a prefix to a word, the spelling of the base word never changes. For example, the prefix un did not change the spelling of the word happy, right? And the prefix re would not change the spelling of the word live in we live. So here, uh, 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 you take the word happy, and when you add the prefix un, what's the word you will get? Unhappy, right? There's no change in the meaning there. There's no change in the there's no change in the spelling there. And when you if you take the word live, and when you add prefix re, what's the word you will get? Relive. And there's no change in the spelling there, but sometimes the spelling also gets changed. Then yeah. So, for example, in the words, uh, see, just now we have discussed that un is a prefix, right? But and re is a prefix here in the first sentence, in the first example we discussed, right? In words unhappy and revision or relief. Then what are this un and re? These are prefixes, right? But whenever you get un, you need not to think that there is a prefix, right? So here, for example, in these words, uncle and preach, these un and re, these are not at all prefixes. So you can see a small table here. So you have prefixes non, un, im, in, il, ir, and what is all these set of prefixes? They give the meaning like not or opposite of. For example, you can take the words unhappy, happy, and when you add this un, it gives an opposite sense, right? Unhappy, opposite to happy. So again, re, the prefix re, it gives the meaning of again or back, again, revisit, replay. And when you add the prefix mis, so mis always gives the meaning of wrongly or not or negative, right? Mis, to misunderstand. And it is also mostly these mis, un, im, non. These prefixes are used to create opposite words. And also de, right? And then com. So these prefixes com, and com. So they give us the meaning of with or together. And then a prefix such as dis, dif, gi, they give the meaning of separation or apart or away. Yes, and when you learn suffix, there are few things to be remembered. Some suffixes have more than one meaning. For example, the suffix er may suggest a person who performs an action like a teacher. So you take the root word here is teach, and when you add er, right? So er now is becoming a noun, right? And what's the word teacher? Is indicating a person who performs teaching, right? So whenever you add the suffix er, in most of the cases, it suggests a person who performs an action. When you add er, it indicates a person who performs an action. But er is also commonly added to the ends of adjectives and adverbs. It's not that every time you add er that must indicate a person who perform an action, but sometimes in most of the cases that's the case. That's the rule, right? When you add er to a verb, mostly you will get a noun a person who performs an action. But er can also be used with, I mean, er can also be added to an adjective to show a comparative degree, right? They compare two things and show that one is more than the other, such as in faster and stronger. So you can see here the suffix er is added to the adjective fast here and the adjective strong here, right? And you can when you see faster and stronger, you can observe a comparison here. So er sometimes, or most of the times, when the suffix er is added to a verb, it suggests it creates a noun which suggests a person who performs an action, and when it is added to adjectives, it suggests a comparison. Okay. The spelling of a base word can change when a suffix is added. This is true of most of base words ending with the letter Y, right? So here, when if a root word ends with a letter Y, if a root word ends with a letter Y and the suffix is added, okay, so the suffix nes is added, then obviously there will be a change in the spelling. For example, you can see the words here. They are lazy, right? And when you add the suffix nes, obviously this y will be replaced with I. That y will be replaced with I. So there will be a change in the or in the spelling. And in the same way, weariness. So weariness, you can see when you add suffix nes, obviously this y will be replaced with I. Right? Craziness, laziness. So with the words which end with the letter Y, when you add a suffix, then there will be an obvious change in the spelling. This Y will be replaced with a I, the letter I. And one more rule is that with the base words which end in a silent E, right, right? And in the words, for example, here you can take the words write, make, or manage, where these words end with the letter E, which is silent, right? And when you add a suffix ing to it, we can simply take away. I mean, we can omit this. We can skip this E in the final word. So you can see here how the word write, which ends with E, which is a silent here, and when the suffix ing is added, there's no need of, I mean, the E is being skipped here, right? In writing, making, and managing, you can see how this last letter, silent letter E, is being skipped in the creation of this new word. In writing, making, managing. Then we also often drop the silent e before the suffix able also, not only ing. When you add the suffix able also, right? Mostly, not every time, but you can skip this letter e. For example, here you can see usc, use the base word, and when you add this able, When you add this able, the suffix able, uh, in this created word, e is dropped, right? E is dropped. There's, I mean, E is not a part of this new word, and the silent E is dropped. But here you can see in this changeable, the base word change and the addition of the suffix able is giving a new word changeable where E is retained. E is not dropped here. So it's not always, in some words, yes, this rule is applicable to few words, and few words won't go along with this rule of dropping E. So you can see a small table of suffixes here. So suffix er, right? When you add the suffix error, that indicates or that suggests a person performing an action or a comparison, right? So here you can see teacher. When you add suffix er to teach, it becomes teacher, which indicates a person performing the action of teaching, right? And when you add the suffix er to an adjective fast, then here it indicates a comparison. And when you add suffix able, able and ible, so it suggests capability, right? Capable of being, right? So you cannot tell the exact meaning for the suffix, but what you can tell is the addition of the suffix or addition of prefix and what is the meaning it indicates, it suggests. So able and ible, addition of these suffixes able and ible, it indicates capability, right? Unforgettable, credible, and suffixes d and ed. They are generally d and ed are added to create past tense, right? The verbs of past form. And ing, when you add ing, the suffix ing, it is mostly added to create a present participle of form, right? Of verb form. And then ment, when you add the suffix ment, it indicates the act or state or result, a result of an action, right? A point. When you add this ment to this verb appoint, it becomes appointment, right? A state of result. Govern, and when you add ment, it becomes government. And ive, it indicates quality. It indicates having the quality, right? It suggests having some quality, creative, divisive, right? Creative. So these are few rules related to suffix and prefix and suffix. We will meet tomorrow with some other topic. Until then, take care. Thank you.